Hey guys, Casia Rose again. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if it's your first time. If it is your first time, definitely consider subscribing. But in this video, we're basically just talking about phone calls and BMT. Okay, so the way this video is set up is I'm basically going to go over the general rules of phone calls in BMT, and then after that I'm going to go over extra tips so that you can use these phone calls to the best of your ability, or whatever the case may be. Those are just my tips on the phone calls. So starting off with the overall rules of BMT, the first thing is that you get 3 mandatory calls during basic military training in the Air Force. So the first one's going to be 0 week, which is the first week that they're there. It's going to be within the first 72 hours that they make it to basic. Some people, I did, get a phone call when they land in San Antonio at the airport. It's super quick though. Mine was 15 seconds, and he just called to say, I made it to San Antonio safely. That's not really a mandatory one, but the mandatory one is when they get to Lackland Air Force Base. Somewhere in that first 72 hours, they will be getting the about 3 to 5 minute phone call, basically, that's scripted, and they have to read off a sheet saying they can't have visitors until basic, they can't have packages, like all this stuff, basically just rambling off a bunch of rules, and then saying that that we can write them, and saying like, get a pen and paper ready, I'm about to give you the address, and then they read off their address. The next one is in Watt 4, somewhere between that, most likely the Monday and that Saturday. You are going to get a 15-minute phone call. Now, do you get the whole 15 minutes? It depends on your trainee. Not everybody did, because this is their time to call. The first phone call, they can only call one person. That's it. They can't make multiple phone calls, just one. If they're lucky, their MTI might let them send the text of the address or send a picture of the address, but I didn't get any of that. I just got a phone call. During this Watt 4 phone call, they can call as many people as they can in 15 minutes. And the other mandatory phone call is Watt 6, which is the second to last week they're there. That phone call is basically to make sure that everybody's got everything ready for graduation. I feel like that's a phone call that probably won't be as long. For me, it wasn't as long because he also had to call his grandparents just to make sure that they were able to make it as well, make sure that they had all the information that they needed and that they were ready to go, basically, to graduation. And then same for me. He did get an extra phone call that week, but it's only because his MTIs were, I'm just gonna say, they were unorganized. They lost his paperwork twice during the 2 months he was at basic, and so we didn't get our visitor passes. Yeah, so those are the 3 mandatory phone calls that you get during basic: 0 week, Watt 4, and Watt 6. There are other reasons to get phone calls. The good reasons are if they get base liberty. Base liberty is usually given as a reward for good flights or good performance or whatever. But it's usually for good reasons. And base liberty is just whenever they can pretty much go almost anywhere on base, and during that time, if they have a prepaid phone card or if they go buy one, they can go make a call on a payphone. But the lines for the payphone are very long, and the payphones there suck. I heard that there's only one good payphone, and probably the chances of getting on that one is really tough. You can barely hear on the payphones. Now, the bad reasons you can get phone calls are 2. If your trainee gets put on med hold, which means they got injured, they got sick, something along those lines, or they have a medical condition that would put them on med hold. Yeah, which they could be on med hold anywhere from days to weeks. I've even heard of someone being on, I feel like it's rare, but even months, but most likely days or weeks. And yeah, that's the reason you'll get a phone call. But I think they only get phone calls every 10 days. So if they are on med hold, you do get to talk to them for like once every 10 days, but it lengthens their time in basic. And the other reason is if they get recycled. Apparently they do get a phone call if they get recycled. Just, I guess, probably to let you know that they've been recycled, so that if you had plane tickets for basic graduation, that you could change it. Okay, so now my tips on BMT phone calls. The first one, and I feel like this might be the top one, is to get a phone call recorder. This for me was probably one of the biggest things, but it's nice to have the phone call recorder for the first phone call, because if you feel like you heard something wrong, you can play it back over. Another reason is during our first 15-minute phone call, I recorded that call and I was able to listen to it back, and it made me so happy to be able to hear his voice over and over again. And I actually still have it on my phone, so anytime that I want to hear that phone call, I can listen to it anytime, forever. And I just feel like it's one of those things that just, like, you know, when you just, maybe you might be taking them for granted or whatever, you might forget things. Like, years from now, I'd love to be able to listen back to when we were super excited just to be able to talk on the phone for 15 minutes, you know? If you don't listen to anything else in this video, get a phone call recorder. Even if you have to pay. A lot of the apps on your iPhone, I can't say for Android, but on the app store, a lot of them make you pay, but it's worth it, so I'd say pay for it. Keep your ringer on at all times if you can, and then on high if your job lets you. I was a server, so I couldn't keep my ringer on, but as soon as I got off work, it was back on, and it was on high. Another thing, because I am a server, I could be at a table at any moment getting this phone call. So it was really nerve-wracking for me. So what I did was I got a Bluetooth. And when I say, I'm not talking about one of those big bulky Bluetooths that's like this long and like sticks out. I got one from Amazon. I'll actually put the link below. It's a really, really tiny Bluetooth that literally when you put it in your ear, I was able to wear my hair down at work, so when you put it in your ear, nobody can see it. I tested it out at work a few times just to make sure, and I was like playing music as I was working, which was probably not good, but yeah, you just put some music in your ear, or you like put the Bluetooth in your ear, and no one can see it. So if that's you, if you have like a job like a server and you're worried about missing your phone call, click the link below. Get this Bluetooth. It's probably about $15, $16, I don't know, I don't remember. Plus I had Amazon Prime, so I got it in 2 days. So get it way in advance, because you can get phone calls at any time. So just get it as soon as possible. And keep that in your ear and connect it to your phone while you're at work. And so when you get in a call, just like reach up and tap it on and you can answer it. So yeah, that's my tip for those of you who have a job where you can't have your phone on you. And the last one is to just keep your phone charged all the time as much as possible, whether that be making sure you charge it up before you go to work, keeping a portable charger on you. I'll put a link below again of a portable charger that I have that's amazing. It'll charge your phone up fully at least 4 times. And then, or keep your actual charger on you, car charger, anything like that. It would suck for your phone to die and you to get a phone call. That's pretty much it for this video. You guys always have super good tips. So please comment down your tips down below, or comment if you've gotten a phone call yet and how it was. That way other people watching this video can kind of get an idea. We are all a family here. Like I said, if you guys are subscribed to me, we're like family. So, you know, let each other know your tips or how your phone calls were, because, you know, a lot of people are going to be looking at this who haven't gone through it, and they're going to want to know other people's experiences other than mine. So yeah, definitely leave those comments down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed by now, definitely consider subscribing and staying tuned for more videos. They're coming out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks so much.